Morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about this guy right here because it might be time to make some changes to it. So let's take it out and let's talk about it. Can we just take a moment and appreciate this angle right here? I mean, wow, gee, I see this car almost every day and it's still like completely unbelievable. And now it's kind of funny because we're starting to see like a bunch of knockoffs of it everywhere, but you guys know where it started. It also seems like people are interested in like the startup process of this thing. So first things first, just unplug the tender. Once that's done, I'm gonna go head over to the other Widebody VW bus, over to our bag of keys and grab the keys. Also guys, while we try to squeeze our way through here, I just want to say thank you because it looks like the channel is starting to pick up now, or at least the shorts are, which I guess better than nothing. So thank you guys, and hopefully we can make some cool stuff happen soon. One of the most satisfying things in this car is opening and closing the door. If you guys know what like a G-Wagon door sounds like, or an old Porsche, then it's exactly like this. And once we squeeze in the car, we're gonna slide over to the driver's seat here. You know what's funny? In one of the videos of the driving videos, people are like, "Oh, why is he sitting up so straight?" I'm sorry, guys. Back in the 1960s, they didn't offer reclining chairs, so that's all you get. And got our cool view of the surfboards there. By the way, guys, this is not a chopped up version of the bus right over there. VW actually made a pickup, or it's actually called a single cab version of the bus back in the day. So this is not a chopped up version of the bus. It's actually came like this, obviously without the body kit. Next, we're gonna scoot over our Cascade flannel that matches our interior. Go cop one, originalcascade.com. The more we sell, the more crazy stuff we get to do. All right, ready for this? This is the best part right here. Listen. Ooh. All right, next we got the ratchet purple taped key because they all look the same, and let's start her up. Actually, before we start her up, let's put some gas in the carb. Now, let's give it a shot. Actually, let's lift up the back a little bit. So this is one of the things we need to talk about once we get outside. Gotta figure out a way to get rid of this. All right, while that warms up, I guess I'll show you around. Oh man. While we wait for this thing to warm up, I guess I'll show you guys around this little tight area really quick. So this is the driving view. I'm about 6'1", and as you can see, you don't have much room. It's a 4-speed manual, clutch, brake, gas, handbrake that doesn't work. And then we got your gas gauge that also doesn't work. We got your speedometer that also, guessed it, doesn't work. We got the horn that luckily works sometimes. And then we also got the front air system left and right, and then rear left and right. We got one little light there, and then all the interior is the exact same fabric we use on our flannels. Thought it would be pretty cool to showcase that. And I mean, there's nothing else really. We got the cargo space back there, and this was a SEMA build for last year, 2022. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of funny because we're starting to see like little knockoffs of like wide body VWs. Obviously nowhere to this extent, but it's funny to see how that all unfolds. All right, we're gonna throw her in gear and then make sure you don't hit the car next to us or this pole, and let's go. That is fucking tight. Hold on guys, that's a little too close to be filming and then looking out for that at the same time, so I'll be right back. So I know I talked about this before, but that thing right there is one of the main reasons why we don't drive this thing. The reason why, it's a pretty easy fix. I know Airlift makes more of an automated system than this. This was obviously just the cheapest thing you could the cheapest option you could do. And the reason why we haven't changed it yet is because what we have to do back there first. And in order to talk about what we gotta do back there, we gotta get this car in better lighting. But this car all of a sudden doesn't want to start. So maybe it likes you guys. So let's give it a try. Come on. Old cars. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess last time I did this, I just gave it like 5 minutes and it started, so I guess we'll try in 5 minutes. All right, it started. Let's go. All right guys, car's outside now. Sorry I didn't film the process of getting it out of the garage, but it's too stressful. But anyway, this is the car for those of you who haven't seen it. It is a 1962 VW single cab split window. And obviously there are many modifications. And I just want to throw out there, guys, I know like there's a lot of stuff in the comments saying like, hey, like why didn't you do this, why didn't you do this, like that's not practical, that shouldn't have been done that way. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, this build was not supposed to be like a practical driver, if you know what I mean. We wanted to push the limits and say, hey, how close can we get a real car to the render that everyone has seen on Instagram? So I think we did a pretty damn good job. But that's besides the point. Today we are going to talk about what we're thinking about changing on this car. So let's get into it. So in order to talk about what we need to change on this car, we got to open the trunk. So for those of you who have never opened like an old school VW, it's pretty weird and cool, I guess you could say. You have this little thing here. You could also use just like a socket set, and then it just basically activates, pushes in some teeth in there. If I can get it, there we go. Okay, that unlocks it. Just leave it in there. All right, guys, this is what we need to talk about. So many people have, complained and said, hey, this car looks this aggressive, but you put this small little engine in there. So the reason why we did that was obviously we were on a huge time constraint last year. So we decided to say, hey, let's put in a slightly beefier 1900cc engine in here. It's still air cooled, it's still a VW engine, it's just a little bit bigger. But as you can imagine, this car is very slow. And I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but it also doesn't sound good. The more I've kind of come immune to it, the more I'm like, I don't really like it. So we're thinking about changing it. So I think there's about 4 options we can go with here, 2 of which have been done before. And it's not that we don't want to do it, we just want to be like, hey, like this is only one of one. We want to have an engine in there that no one's has done before, if you know what I mean. So the 4 options are a Subaru engine, a boxer engine. We can also put in a Porsche air-cooled engine, which has been done many of times, and in fact has been done on like all the builds that have to try to mirror this thing, which that really turns us off from it, because then we're just copying the copiers, if that makes sense. And then we can also figure out a way to put a V8 in there. And then for those of you who are asking, oh, it's not gonna fit, I mean, obviously I'm pretty sure it's not gonna fit. A lot of modification will need to be done. And worst comes to worst, guys, I mean, we look in here, it's all empty. So if you need to cut a hole in there, like, so be it, you know what I mean? And my favorite one, my favorite opinion, or my favorite option is either a 3 rotor or a 4 rotor. Now, I know for a fact that has never been done on something quite like this, which is why we are kind of leaning towards that. And also, those engines just scream. So now that we got the options out of the way, let's talk about the issues that come with pretty much all of them. I mean, all of them are bigger engines than that. When I say bigger, I literally mean like bigger engines, the size of the engine literally. So a lot of cutting will probably have to be done. And for more of the higher horsepower engines, I'm just worried that the chassis on this thing, because remember, at the end of the day, it's just a 1962 old piece of crap, basically VW chassis, that if we put a lot bigger power in there, will it just like twist the chassis, if you know what I mean? That's why, like, when we were kind of in the middle of this build and we were talking about engines, we were like, if we're gonna put a bigger one, we might as well just like have started over, cut the body off literally, and just slide a tube chassis under there. So now we're kind of going reverse. Then at the end of the day, you know, we're doing this for content. We're doing this for you guys to make cool content. And I mean, what else is cooler than this thing, right? So the reason why, like I said, we want to go with a 4-rotor is because it screams, but I think that will be one of the most challenging engines to try to put in there, only because obviously this is air-cooled. Any rotary engine is not, so we would have to figure out the cooling system for that. We would also have to figure out, basically, if you look at an RX-7, the engine and the trans is mounted in the opposite direction. I mean, in the opposite way of this one. The engine's in the front and the trans is in the back, and this is a transaxle, meaning that transaxle is in the front and the engine's in the back. So we gotta figure out a way, if it's even possible, to flip it around like 180 degrees and then have it backwards. So yeah, but honestly, I look at it as like, can it actually be done? Can we actually pull it off? Which is even more intriguing to do. Because I mean, if anyone told you this was possible, you guys probably would have laughed also. So let me know down in the comments, guys, what would you go with? V8 air-cooled Porsche engine, Subaru engine, or 3-rotor or 4-rotor? And yeah, guys, and I promise you guys, no matter what we do, we'll do a much better job filming the whole process, because basically almost nothing was filmed with this thing right here. So I know we missed out a lot of opportunity with that, but I think it's time to get this engine out of there and slap something that sounds and screams amazing, guys. So until next time, let me know down in the comments what you want to see. Cop a Cascade flannel, because we need to sell a lot of these, or either sell one of the cars inside to fund this. And yeah, until next time, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you later.